Hey, what's going on, YouTube? I am back with another story time, and if you do like these story times, please like, subscribe, ring that bell. In any case, this is a story about a certain bong. Well, I was hanging out at my buddy Rob's spot, and when it came down to smoking, we pretty much had only smoked out of like the most basic pipes. So, gas station metal pipes or, whatever, maybe glass pipe we could get our hands on. But Sue's buddy calls him up and says, dude, I got a straight up sick ass bong for you. We got it, I need to show it off to you. It's an amazing, like, multi-chamber. It's a great bong. It's so smooth. It's so great. And it's like, man, we've only been smoking out of shitty pipes. This sounds like a great opportunity to smoke out of something a little bit nicer. So, turns out his buddy spot is like basically, it's like a straight shot from his house, but those California hills in there, yeah. Even as a high schooler, that was pretty rough at times. We ended up having to hoof a couple of those hills because, man, some of those roads were, pretty steep going up and down. Plenty fun going down. Not so fun having to hoof it uphill. And it was his place was like a mile and a half. So we're taking biking up there, and it's a plenty nice day. Sunny day in California. Pretty fun. I'm always in the mood for an adventure like that, but still, that was quite the exercise for a bong. And I was thinking, this better be a nice, great bong that apparently this guy had. Now, as we arrived at this guy's house, it's like some classic kind of white trash yard, like car parts in the yard and whatnot. But the way this house was, there wasn't really like an enclosure for the backyard. It was pretty much an open, house area. So we pretty much were able to just walk straight to the back. And I guess this guy was living in the RV in the backyard. Put it that way. So yeah, this high school kid, I guess, I don't know, his folks did not want him staying in the house. They just, he got this RV to himself. Interesting. But another interesting tidbit was, for some reason, they also had a pallet of Coca-Cola in the backyard as well, which, yeah, his buddy later explained was basically they just, so the Ralphs down the street, now they were some jokers and left a pallet of Coca-Cola just staying out on the front. So they apparently, they're like a group of 4 people apparently together, just scooped it up. Just, a point of opportunity was they just loaded it in the back of a truck and hauled it away, and they've been living off of that soda since. Now, considering it was outside in the heat, I'm sure all those metals and stuff make the soda taste so great over time, but they drank them all. It just, I don't know. That was a lot of soda. It was ridiculous. Just freaking robbed from a Ralph's down the street. It was ridiculous. But we get into this guy's RV, and they're like, don't really see any bong around. Like, there's not really, sit around. But basically, he had his little stash box, which is a nice little Cuban cigar box. It was kind of a nice little box there, but he had about like a half ounce on him. We were gonna like all just throw, pitch in a little bit on trying this out, but he wanted to show it off, and we didn't see it anywhere. And he just like all of a sudden he pulls it out like one of those. He had like the little cupboard shelf thing by like the little kitchenette in the RV, and he pulls out like. It was like those little mini Gatorade bottles, those little ones. He had ghetto rigged with like medical tubing 3 of those together And then what was it? He had some. What was it for the? Was it medical? Was it? I think it was still medical tubing for the mouthpiece itself, but it was just like ghetto rigged Gatorade bongs, and he even didn't even like. It wasn't even a glass bowl. It was still a metal bowl. Put. Oh man, it was just like. I mean, what did we expect out of it, high school kids? But like, yeah, I was kind of hoping for some glass, not some freaking Gatorade bottles, but oh well. And so we're sitting there in this RV, and he has like the stupid, satellite TV, which was like taking forever to connect. We were sitting there probably like 10 minutes, and it was still struggling to connect to that satellite. He was so frustrated messing with that. But he had, loads it up, and basically I got first dibs on it, and it was not the greatest, to say the least. Not the worst, but definitely a ghetto rig bong. Like, definitely not the preferable. Yeah, just definitely that classic kind of plastic. Don't really taste much because in reality it's mids. It's totally just some gross. And it was like, yeah, like thinking back on it, I didn't even get that crazy high at that point. Normally I would get pretty fucking baked real easy, back in high school. Like you didn't really take that crazy amount of weed. But like thinking about that, like it almost like the Gatorade bong took away from the high. It was weird. I don't know. It was like, man, like really? This is what you called us up to go all the way over for? This is what you were bragging about? This 3 mini Gatorade bottles that you get a rig with some medical tubing. Like, really? That's what we biked a mile and a half for? We could have smoked out of a pipe. That was perfectly fine. That metal pipe worked even better. Yeah, so we hung out there for probably about an hour and a half, and then ended up, just heading back to his place, grabbing some sodas, playing some Super Smash Brothers Melee, and then, hitting out of, hitting out of some other actual pipes and whatnot. So, yeah, in any case, if you do enjoy this story time, please like, subscribe, ring that bell. You have a great rest of your day.